Well, good Rivertown Days Sunday afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Rivertown Days Parade. This year, a beautiful day, probably the nicest weather we have had in the years of having this parade. Alongside Dan Massaman, I'm Nick Tuckner, both of KDWA Radio here in Hastings, and we're here to take you along from start to finish in our Rivertown Days Parade. And Dan, like we said, just a beautiful day, maybe one of the best we've ever had for the parade.
That is, yeah, you're exactly right about that. And what a way to start the 40th annual Rivertown Days with weather like this. Parade's going to be excellent. And there you go.
As we always start, too, we bring our Hastings Police Department through, always keeping us safe. And, of course, Chief Brian Schaefer, if you're going to have anybody leading them out, why not have the top man in charge leading us out and to start our parade here at the 2018 Rivertown Days celebration. And they're joined as well by the VFW Lyle Russell Post 1210, our second unit coming through here today. And of course, men of honor, no doubt about that, and all they've given to the community over the years.
Boy, we do. We can't thank those people enough, or you and I wouldn't be sitting here talking like we can.
Yep, that's for sure.
Or and maybe we'd be talking, saying what they wanted
right,
us to say.
Exactly. But again, thank you to all of our branches of service, and we'll have many of them coming through here from time to time throughout the parade here today. And as we're seeing some kids now even on scooters coming through, and they are part of Alina Health. Regina, also the parade sponsor, one of them anyway, here for the 2018 Rivertown Days celebration. And these two young fellas, they have those little, those like the little hover scooters.
Yeah, I think that's what I just heard about those this week. I didn't even know they were around. Look at how good they are on them.
I am not quite coordinated enough to drive one of those. It would be funny for everybody in attendance if they did see me driving one of those.
And they're good at it too.
They are good at that. It's unbelievable.
Nice crowd here too.
Oh, and you know what, the beautiful weather, you knew, Dan, we were going to have a fantastic crowd today. And really from start to finish, every single curb-to-curb area has either had chairs or blankets down on them for really the last 24 to 36 hours. If you've driven around the parade route, everybody has kind of gotten their spots saved. And as Alina Health comes through, and as we said, one of our awesome parade sponsors, this is just, again, just as awesome as it gets here with Rivertown Days, our parade, and with so many folks out here enjoying it. Like we said, and we're only, 4 floats in, that this could very well be the best Rivertown Days parade that we have had. So with that said too, we're going to have some of our folks coming through from the Hastings Bus Company. We have a bunch of assorted vehicles coming through. They start with a van, and they're looking for van drivers and bus aides right now at 437-1888. It says it right there on the door, looking for some help right now. And there are some places right now where folks, need jobs, Dan. I mean, there's great places to work for great people, great organizations, and Hastings Bus Company and Minnesota Coaches, definitely one of those in our community.
Yep. And that first one that you're seeing, the Minnesota Coaches, school buses weren't like that when I was in school.
No. I mean, you think about some of these kids, even when they go on to state tournaments and whatnot, they get that luxury of being able to ride in one of those. And how fun of an experience is that? Sometimes they might go up to Duluth on one of their little trips or whatever, but, TVs, the Wi-Fi, Dan, the amenities kids need these days are on those buses, which is really, really neat. And of course, they have a potty on the bus, and I think that helps cut down on the stops. So that's also big. And look at that, Dan. I mean, look at the school bus. I mean, even this beautiful school bus, we didn't have those nice, beautiful school buses with tinted windows and all of that stuff.
Yeah, they didn't have air conditioning or heat.
No.
The heaters barely kept you warm in the winter.
And now you see sometimes they'll have the little air conditioning units in some of the buses now on the back part of it. Boy, we didn't get that when we were kids.
No, we had to walk to school in the last 5 miles uphill, and then on the way home uphill too. I haven't figured out how that works, but
well, the only air conditioning, Dan, was the snow we got in the wintertime, I think, for you guys. That's how it went. This is cute. A couple of the kids throwing candy. There's going to be a lot of candy thrown today, I think, Dan, with a beautiful day that is today. And now we have number 5 coming in, Dan, and the Metro Marine Color Guard. Do you have more on them?
Yes, Nick. The Metro Marines is a veteran service organization representing the United States. Marine Corps in various capacities during the year, like parades, recruiting functions. Toys for Tots are among the many activities they're involved with. With 3 platoons, Chaplin, Anoka, and Hastings, and Forest Lake, the Metro Marines hold regular meetings and monthly dinners to network and plan upcoming events. Membership is open to any Marine, male or female, who has served, is retired from, or is currently serving in the United States Marine Corps, or was a Navy corpsman that served in the Fleet Marine Forces.
And once a Marine, always a Marine, Dan.
That's right.
What they always say. And here is the Hastings Business of the Year. And Dan, you know a lot about this float. And it's the Y in Hastings, and that's the
Terry
Educator
Seaman
of the
driving
Year.
it. Oh, and Jack, his son, with him.
Jennifer Herbers, our Educator of the Year this year. And yeah, 2 studly dudes driving that first car. There's Brian Davis with the Y, and he is walking with the Business of the Year, the YMCA. Of course, Brian, I work very intently with him as the sports director over there, so we talk quite a bit.
Just a great guy.
There's Tasha Nelson, too. She is the Volunteer of the Year, and you know, the Volunteer of the Year, Dan, that's so special each and every year because, you know, so many give so much of their own free time, free will, their own money, their own whatever they have to make our community better. And Tasha Nelson, definitely one of those people, Dan. So very thankful to have folks like that in our community.
Just give back and give back and give back of their time and talents. And
well, one more time as mayor. Let's do it once more.
There it is, his last parade.
Paul Hicks, our mayor of Hastings, and he is in a 56 Chevrolet.
Isn't that a nice unit?
Beautiful. It always seems like the mayor. He always has some good cars that he drives in. We get the thumbs up and a hello. There's Mr. Balsonic. He's taking a run
around there.
Trevor London, his little guys too.
He's the oldest guy and he's walking.
Yeah, he's running. What are you walking? He's running. There you go. Tina Folch, Lisa Liefeld's float.
Tina, of course, had a bad accident, both her arms.
Oh, no, ouch.
She fell and broke both her arms, and of course, she is candidate for District 56B, also state representative. She's got a big job ahead of her, doing both jobs, city council and running for state legislator.
Lori Brox, our council member at large, same with Mark Vaughn. Both are at large council members, and they serve the entire community, not just one ward, Dan. They work with everybody in the community, and that's very, very cool.
Driven in that beautiful 56 Chevy, courtesy of Stu Wanke of Eagan, Minnesota.
He's got a couple cars, thanks to Stu.
First one,
that's really neat that they're giving back that way. Well, look who this is here.
Wow. For once, you can say they're in those dark uniforms and they probably feel good.
Well, today, with it being as beautiful as it is, the Hastings Raiders Marching Band.
Look at that.
And Dan, these kids are not only one of the best in the state, they are one of the best in the country, year in, year out. The competitions they go to, whether they come to, you know, any of the football games or they're at a competition, they represent our community with the utmost integrity. They take so well to their wares.
Another Seaman there, Gracie Seaman.
Gracie, of course.
Seaman family here today.
A big part of it as well.
Here's your Hastings Marching Band. Look at that group.
And it's a family thing too, Dan. You might have some older brothers or sisters that got into it. You fell in love with it. You become part of it eventually when you get into high school. And that's what keeps this band going so well year in and year out, is that they see how much fun it is. That gets passed down, and they continue to do what they do. And boy, every year the Hastings Marching Band, terrific. All right. So after the marching band, we have our Wells Fargo Bank, and this is the old school stagecoach. And I saw the big trailer parked, and I was thinking, before this whole thing got going, what does Wells Fargo have up their sleeve? And check that out.
Wow.
Not even you, Dan, were around when they used to drive those. But a beautiful.
No truer words were ever spoken.
I didn't want to lie.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fantastic.
Wow, look at that.
Like we
Drawn
said,
by 4 beautiful horses.
Now, if they just drive that
to the cleanup guy.
If they drive that stagecoach to the Euro stand and drop me off, it would be a great Rivertown days. Here comes the Hastings Fire Department, and in just a moment anyway. I think we still got some of the marching band folks coming through, and they have their big trailer too that will be coming through. It looks like some of our volunteers too from Wells Fargo pushing along. They got the kids and some of their wagons and strollers and all that fun stuff. And now there's our marching band trailer, that big beautiful trailer, and that carries the equipment to all of the competitions and parades and everything else that these kids do each and every weekend, and really for every day of the school year in practicing what they do. Now here's our guys and gals. We know these folks pretty well, Dan, from our vantage point at the studio.
Like our saying goes, we get the news when it's hot.
That's very true.
We see it coming in and we see it going out.
And we have, first of all, one of our ambulances coming through here. And
those guys are hard workers. I mean, you're talking all hours of the day and night, in and out and in and out. And just imagine not getting a good night's sleep. I remember when Tom Murray retired rather.
Yep.
When he retired, I asked him, what are you looking forward to? And he said, one night of good, solid sleep without being interrupted 3 or 4 times.
They give a lot of their time,
Tough
and
work.
like you said, the mentality you have to be one of those firefighters and EMTs. It's amazing. And I want to take this moment too to thank each and every one of them that I've seen here at Rivertown Days. I don't care if we're talking about down at the carnival, down at the craft fair, some of these reserves that have been working all weekend. Thank you to each and every one of you out there that are watching this too, because without those EMTs, first responders, police doing traffic control, when it's been so busy down here, we couldn't have had this Rivertown Days or any Rivertown Days without them, Dan.
Them and the Hastings Police and the Hastings Reserves, and they all work together. And
this is our fire rescue truck. We see this one once in a while, Dan.
Yep.
When they're going out to maybe an accident where they have some tools in it. They can hook it up to different receptacles and whatnot, but the ones that I think the kids really like are coming up. The big loud trucks with the ladders on them, and yeah, these are fun.
Yeah, when we see them going out, we know it's big news.
Yep. Or it's just a fire alarm and they come back with a little giggle on their face. And that's what we like to see.
Yeah, but they're out there no matter what the size is. They're out there checking it out, making sure everybody's safe and healthy.
As professional as it gets, folks, the Hastings Fire and EMT Department. Big Engine 4, this is one of our, like we said, bigger ones. I know when Dallas is with me at the station, he wants to go over and see the fire trucks every day, and that's one of his faves. And the big ladder truck that's coming through next, definitely a favorite. Candy everywhere, a bunch of our guys wearing those hot pants even on a warm day. In uniform, Dan, you gotta like that. Hey! There we go.
And not only that, but we're a river town.
Right.
And
There's
they
the
have
boat.
the rescue boat. They have snowmobiles in the winter. They have, isn't that Storley
That's
driving
Al
it?
Storley.
Al Storley driving it there. See him over there. But being a river town, they're prepared for any emergency.
And this is something too, Dan,
Put that Honda in your fishing boat there.
Oh my goodness. We'd get to Prescott in about 3.3 seconds. But we'll see that a lot of times. And again, if you see that in the river, that's probably not good news. They're probably maybe looking for something in particular.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And then the Prescott Fire Department, of course, mutual aid. They help each other out.
And Dan, working at KDWA as long as I have, getting to know a lot of these Prescott guys, such good men. We talk about our guys too. They're just the same way. Wonderful people, men and women that serve the community. And many of them too, Dan, are volunteers over there. I mean, they just give up their time.
Look at the Meesville track vehicle.
And these guys too, kind of volunteers in small towns. And yeah, look at that, it's kind of like a cross between a gator and a bulldozer.
Well, it's a four-wheeler with tracks.
like an OTV.
Yeah, you can buy. Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Right.
You can buy those there to get around.
That might be our next Kitty WA car. I think we're.
There you go. And the Meesville Fire Department, of course, we all help each other out.
Yep. And of course, their fire hall, for those folks that go down to Jack River Field, right next to the ballpark. And a lot of times during those games, they might have the hood open on a couple of those garage doors, and you can take a peek at some of their beautiful trucks that are coming through here right now. And like it says, they serve not only Meesville, but Douglas Township, Vesa Township, Welch Township. Yep. So they're all kind of on that little Highway 5061 corridor. Hi, buddy. Oh, Mr. Saris, how are you? Driving? Hey, how are you? We got all of our friendly faces here at the parade today. Karen McGree.
Arden Mills, been around a long time.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Dan, it'd be hard-pressed to find one of our friends or family that do not work at the mill. I mean,
yes.
They have served our community for so long, and like you said, you can't go anywhere or escape the family without seeming like somebody that we know works there. And thank you to what they do to keep our folks employed in the Hastings community. Wow, they are really throwing the candy out. I'll tell you what. Hey, there we go. Thank you. You guys are the best. We appreciate it. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, keep coming. Keep it coming. Sour Patch Kids. Now,
look at the kids.
Well, let's see here.
And of course, moving trains, cars, moves their product around. Look at the size of that.
Have you seen those in action before, Dan, when you're going down 61? It's kind of neat to watch those things. It has like half real rubber wheels, and then they got the actual train wheels on them too, so they can back them up onto the train tracks.
Yeah. Very versatile.
That's a good word for it. Yep. So I think this one now will be. This one might be the Flint Hills Fire Department too, because out there they have so much. I don't want to say flammable material, but there's times where they might need them out there. You're refining oil into gasoline and kerosene and things like that, and a lot of times some little spill could happen. They're immediately called into action, Dan.
You bet, and they're one of Rivertown Day's presenting sponsors, Nick. The Flint Hills Resource Pine Bend Refinery produces transportation fuels used throughout the whole upper Midwest, including most of our gasolines, diesel fuel, and jet fuel. It's one of the safest, cleanest, and most efficient refineries operating in the United States. You know, they've reduced emissions by 70% since 1997. The refinery, which is with its own full-time professional fire department, has been a major local employer since and was established in 1955.
Wow.
Currently employs, get a load of this, Nick, more than 1,300 people plus 1,000 contractors per day.
That's amazing.
That's huge.
We talk about keeping people employed.
Yes.
Again, another one of those places where you can't bat an eye without finding somebody who works out at the refinery. So thank you to them. One of our sponsors. And that will bring us, I think, more of the Flint Hills crew. They got the red shirts too, and again, some of the kids are out handing out some candy, and what do they got there? Little fidget spinners, Dan.
Oh, is that, yeah, those little things, okay.
You probably don't want to throw those.
No.
I don't think that's a good idea there, fellas, handing them out to some of those kids who are right in front of us. And the Flint Hills crew will lead to Merchants Bank here in Hastings, another one of our wonderful local businesses.
Is that Bobby over on the end there?
On the far right side, I believe so. Some of their kids
Great
that are
people down there at Merchants Bank. There's Bruce walking.
Yeah.
Over on the other side, handing out candy. Old Time Band.
You gotta like that. Some show tunes.
An Old Time Band. I wonder if those are past employees.
Oh, good. Yeah, could be.
Wow.
Very good. Semstone will come through next, and they too are in Hastings. and kind of tucked back behind Vermilion Falls Park there, and
what
they do a lot of
huge rig that is.
That's a lot of cement, Dan.
Yes, it is.
A lot of equipment. I mean, you look at how much machinery it takes just to run the turbine on that big giant mixer. And Semstone here of Hastings, a lot of cement products.
Oh, here
well,
comes,
looky
oh,
here.
Wow, here they are. Look sharp, guys.
Well, we don't have Tom and Mo to have on a stick this year, so this time it's Take a Hike Mike and Take a Hike Sarah. No, we can't call her Take a Hike Sarah, can we?
Look at them.
Wonderful. Yep, there shows Take a Hike Mike. There's the City 3 aprons
And there's
optional.
Tom running around with handing out candy on the
Oh,
other
there
side.
he is.
Guys, look sharp around here.
Yep, boss is here. And that'll slip right back into Tony Juergens. Of course, he, one of our local
state legislator for District 56B and covering Hastings, Cottage Grove.
Held the same seat where Denny held for quite
Correct.
some time
Yes.
in our area. And
Oh,
there he is.
right there. You trying to sweeten us up for the election?
Sweetening us up.
Hey, how
Tony,
you doing?
there we go. He's running laps too, Dan.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We could have used him on our kitten ball team yesterday the way he's running.
No, we just took, Tony just shook our hand, great guy, and you can tell he's giving sweat.
That's okay. We're all warm with you, Tony. That's just fine. Oh boy. So Tony coming through.
He'll be running against Tina Fulch in this fall's election.
Two folks we know very well from our area. That'll be very interesting and fun. Now here's a place I might know. My
you would know a lot
wonderful
about
bride
this.
works at Sterling Drug
Your
here
better
in
half?
Hastings.
Is she not out here?
She's not
Oh,
she's not walking this year. We have the whole family here this year, so she is elected to let the younger kids. That's what they did this year. A lot of the young kids that are home from college, some of the high school kids
Have
that work
some
there
fun.
as well. Yep.
It is a lot of fun, especially on a day like this. You said many times it's just such a beautiful day on the 40th annual Rivertown Days Parade 2018.
It's one of those things too where you get to Sunday, Dan, a lot of years, and it's like, okay, well, it's Sunday, it's run its course. But I think today, Sunday, there's gonna be a lot of people out not wanting to have Rivertown Days go away this year. They're gonna want to enjoy this beautiful day we have. Here's Valley Buick from here in Hastings. They're right there. They're over the bridge up over the hill there.
Big GMC truck.
That's a Denali, Dan. Isn't that beautiful?
I think we know this guy.
Hey, how we doing?
Oh my
Look
God.
at all of that.
Thanks, Gary.
Sweetening Dan up is Gary. Yep.
Gary Braun, of
I
course.
appreciate that. Gary's worked on
Good
my
guy.
car more than a few times and done a fantastic job. And
Of course, part of the Braun clan
Yes.
in Hastings. Vince's dad, and Gary's been a long-time institution up there.
right, he's
At Valley.
whenever I go in to get my car fixed, 9.9 times out of 10, it's going to be Gary who's helping me. And like I said, we love going up there. And thanks to those guys too for doing what they do. And that'll bring us down to number 21 on our list. And I think you have more information on these folks too.
Schlumka with their hydro evac truck. I don't have much, it doesn't say what it does there, but boy, that's a big unit too.
That is very, very interesting.
Now, we found out with the kids and stuff that we always give Schlumka a call because when they have bonfires and stuff, you rent those porta potties.
Right.
And they bring them out, and they're not expensive at all. You don't have kids running in and out of your house, having a nice bonfire. They're outside, and they rent those too. I know it firsthand.
And Dan, more and more grad parties are doing that, going that route, because a lot of the outdoor grad parties, a lot of times you keep it outside and you get 2 or 3 of those things in the yard, like you said, Dan. Once they're done, they come up professionally, pick them up, and we have no mess, nothing for us to clean up. It's just wonderful. And
they come and do it, and
Yeah.
they're not that expensive at all. I'm telling you, we've done that a number of times where we're at in Schlumpkin. Of course, we have the septic system that they take care of, and I think that's what that evacuator truck does.
Well, it looks like it has some power to it. So yeah, if you folks, that don't have like an outdoor sewage system, they bring up one of those tank trucks and they kind of hook it up to the deal and
to the septic system, yeah.
And out it goes.
And where we live, in our house, it gets pretty deep.
Yeah.
We'll move on. Okay.
24 is one too, Dan, that you might know. And you know what? This is so cool that they have this. Every couple of years we seem to see this with a dragon spraying all sorts of fog at people and whatever. This is fun.
It is. It's the Osmond Shrine Dragon Patrol from Rochester, Minnesota, made up of Shriners from this area. There are 2 Shriners operating the head, 4 in the body. Those Shriners you see on the outside are there for your protection, right there. And the dragon's name is Chang. Hi, Chang! And guess what? Chang is 35 years old, Nick.
30, how old?
35 years old.
Oh, he's almost as old as
And
me.
at times you can see his eyes and mouth move as he growls. Be careful of the smoke spraying from his nose when he hears a large round of applause, and he came right up here and gave us a shot. He's well known throughout the country. As far as we know, he's the only walking dragon of his kind anywhere. His mission? Help support kids. You can follow Chang's schedule on the webpage at rochesterdragon.com.
Well, thank you, Chang. That's really cool of you coming up here. And right behind him, another red group of folks, and that is Majeski Plumbing and Heating here. They're located in the industrial park in Hastings, and they are, again, folks you call, they're going to come out, do a professional job for you, no matter what you ask of them. Just awesome people. Bunch of very cool people that I know on that float, too, which is awesome. And then we also have Hastings Ford that's actually behind them, I believe, which they're
sponsoring their truck for Hastings for the Pine Harbor Academy, serving Hastings, Cottage Grove, Woodbury, and Prescott, again, over 35 years, Nick, providing academic excellence in a character-building environment, small class sizes, kindergarten through 8th grade, busing from South Washington County District 833 and of course Hastings District 200 before and after school programs, rich music programs, affordable for today's working families, now registering for the 18-19 school year. Find more out at pineharbor.org. Kids Care Center, a licensed Christian preschool and child care center there, also serving children 6 weeks through 12 years old. Exciting school-age programs you can find out at kidscarecenter.com.
So they just flip-flopped with Hastings Ford. Now there they are, and they're in a big black Power Stroke, huge truck, Dan. That's a beautiful black truck they have. And now they have one of these, what is this, little SUV, nice red SUV. I don't know if that's like a
Explorer, I think.
The new Explorer, I think, right?
That is the brand new Explorer. Wow, that's a nice piece of machinery.
More great people.
Oh, Expedition.
Oh, that is an
Ford Expedition. Wow. Bigger than the Explorer. I don't see Doug out there handing candy out.
I wonder if he's maybe, oh, no, here comes the Hastings Chrysler Center, too. Maybe we'll see Eric in here somewhere. Their crew, little Dodge Ram with the 4-door.
Well, I noticed I'm going to have to ask Eric. They brand them Dodge now.
Right.
Or Ram, rather.
Oh, just Ram.
Just Ram. No Ram. Dodge anymore on the name plates.
That's a Hemi, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I mean, not that I encourage driving fast, but I bet that car moves pretty quickly, Dan.
Yeah, I'll bet it
You know,
yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. Do that outside of Hastings.
Yeah.
Angie Craig is the next one. She's DFL endorsed candidate for the 2nd Congressional District. She was raised by a single mom in a mobile home park where she watched her family struggle. She's become a leader in the major Minnesota manufacturing company, over 16,000 as the head of global HR. Today she lives in Eagan, and she has her wife, Cheryl, their 4 sons, their dog, Summit. And she's running for Congress today because too many people don't have the opportunities she had.
that'll bring us to the little log
Boy,
house.
that goes back even before your days.
Oh, I was, yeah,
I had to get even with you.
I knew that was coming.
I had to get
eventually.
even with you.
Of course.
Remember, no, don't get mad, get even.
Just get even. Oh, this is so cool. The little log house, Dan,
Yes.
how cool is that out there? That we have that jewel that has kept so many different things alive, whether it's these wonderful war vehicles or some of the awesome buildings that they have out there. Steve and the entire family, just cool to have that.
It is, yeah. And he's done so much, Steve Bauer and his family, keeping the Hastings past alive. And
now we got some dancers. All right. All right. Lots and lots of dancing. And we got a sheriff. I think he's a sheriff. We got a sheriff there too. That's awesome. All right. Country Night Saloon. And that'll bring, Dan, probably one of the best organizations we have in our community.
There's Chris Cope.
With Hastings Family Service, and Dan,
Yes.
they have helped and touched so many families' lives in the Hastings community over the years, and absolutely amazing all that many of these volunteers especially do for our community. A great, great organization.
Hastings is such a giving community.
Oh, it doesn't matter the cause. Our community always gets behind whatever cause that might be. We're all Raiders, if you will. We're all Hastings people, and it's just nice to see a community staple like them continuing with that trend.
We live in such a great community. We really do.
And they got great
Helping
leaders.
each other out.
Yep. You have great leaders, Dan. Great things happen, and I think that's a big part of what Hastings Family Service is all about.
Yep.
Mr. Eric Mace walking by. Love seeing him, as always.
Wow, here's a great one. They always give away that milk,
man,
that
Dan.
chocolate milk.
Just again,
Hastings Co-op Creamery, Valley View Farms.
we might sound like a broken record here, but again, one of those Hastings businesses that we love having in our community, in our town. So many folks from Hastings in the area work for the Hastings Co-op Creamery, and all of that milk, Dan, that you drink, all of the cheese that you eat, it comes from local area farmers who work so hard in our community area.
Yep.
There's that milk, Dan, of course.
There it is.
They
We all
are
grew
awesome.
up on it. Hastings
Right.
grows up on it. Isn't that something?
A lot of the 4-H'ers too, Dan.
Yep.
I mean, a
Great
lot of
organization.
us, growing up, 4-H was a very big party. If you were a farmer or not, it was always something that really taught you life lessons, and that is fantastic.
You need to get Dallas one of those. A Great
Dane. We talked about Great Danes earlier and some other big.
They're bigger than Dallas.
Yeah,
He can ride it.
oh.
He could ride it to preschool.
Well, the funny thing is he has a Chihuahua at home, and I think he thinks he can ride her too, and that doesn't work very well.
Well, no, he can put her in her pocket, his pocket when he goes to preschool here. Look at
That's
those
coming
Great
up.
Danes.
Lord,
Look at that.
those beautiful
He could ride
dogs.
one of those.
He really could too. And you know what? Those Great Danes are such gentle animals that they'd make sure he stayed on their back and the whole thing. They're such great, wonderful animals.
And the next float coming up.
Yes, our next, and Dan, I know that you have some more information as we talked about Paul Hicks coming through in his final parade as mayor. Well, somebody's going to be the new mayor here coming up this November.
Mary for mayor. Mary moving Hastings forward. Mary Hoffman Fassbender, lifelong resident, candidate for mayor for Hastings in 2018. And what a great lady. Just, one of the founders of Gobblegate. She's given back so much to her community. Mary Fassbender, what a great person. I believe we'll see one of the other Sebens in on this too, I thought.
The whole posse's here somewhere. We know that.
They are. But Mary Fassbender, longtime resident of Hastings,
Hastings.
She knows a lot
Hastings.
of. I'm wondering. I'm going to ask her if she knows a lot of Hastings secrets.
There's Jeff Grayson, who used to work at Channel 9 campaigning for Mary Fassbender too. That's kind of cool. I remember him from Channel 9.
Wow. She calls out the big guns.
That's right.
Oh, look at the people on her bus there. Moving Hastings forward.
It's a trolley, Dan. That's really cool.
That is.
Cute.
And there she is. She's got all the little kids
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
Long-time local businesswoman, Dan.
Look at her, shaking little hands,
Oh,
big
yeah.
hands. She's such a great lady. Mary Fassbender. Mary Fassbender for mayor.
Yeah. Oh, come on over. Up.
How's it going?
It's going wonderful.
Good for
Thanks,
you.
Dad.
Good for you. And what a great day, the 40th annual Rivertown
Perfect.
Days. Perfect weather.
Imagine that. Yes, I was here.
Perfect
40 years
weather for
ago,
the
too.
perfect mayor.
Thank you.
Good luck, Mary.
Good luck,
Yep.
Mary. What a great lady.
She's got to catch up with the float now.
Yeah,
we took her time away. Right. Metro PCS, one of our local cell phone companies. We thank them as well. A lot of purple and black as they come through.
I
And then,
bet that beautiful husky is glad that it's nice today.
oh, well, if it's sad or depressed, it can come home with me. I'll take it home. That's a beautiful puppy.
Isn't that a beautiful?
Riverbend Pet Hospital here in Hastings. Take care of your pooches and feline friends, etc.
I can hear the bagpipes in the
I was
distance.
just gonna say,
Oh.
Dan, one of my favorite sounds. My ears,
Yep.
if it hears bagpipes, it's just it hears nothing but that. There's no other better sound than a group playing the bagpipes, as well as many of these folks who do so, like we're going to be hearing here in just a couple of moments, coming down 2nd Street as the sound gets louder and louder, Dan. I don't think I could be talented or have the wind. People might say, "Oh yes, you have the wind to play those bagpipes," but boy,
I always wondered that.
and
Yeah,
doing
and
that.
too, because I think you have to constantly be blowing in it.
Yeah, even though we're both full of
course-
hot air, we
course we're
still
full of- I was just gonna say,
neither one of us between the two of
great
us.
minds think alike, don't we?
Right.
A lot of hot air.
That's pretty true.
It may be only 70 outside, but it's 120 in the tent here.
It's very, very, very full. Like you said, hot air. I'm surprised the top of this isn't taken off yet, like a hot air balloon. But now we're nicely, safely taken care of, and thanks to the HCTV crew for all that they do. And I know we got Lindsay, we got David here, we got Kurt here. Like we saw Tom and the rest of the posse all running around.
Do a
and,
great job in
Yep.
Hastings here.
Yep.
They really do.
And when we can all work together like the way that we have been able to, Dan, with HCTV and us, and
Yep.
it's a wonderful thing. And you might even hear my voice.
I was going to say,
again.
you're the voice of
Yep.
their sports. They tag along with
Yep.
the radio, the AM and FM
Yep.
signal, and
So be sure to stay tuned, folks. Of course, fall sports are coming up in Hastings. If you're watching this,
wow.
April 13th is the day every single fall sport will open up on April 13th. And of course, if you're watching in Prescott, they begin fall
April
sports
13th.
April 1st in Prescott, April 13th
No, you must mean
in Hastings. Or
August.
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 Oh, there we go. There we
Sorry.
go.
One of the 8, yeah.
That's okay.
August 13th for Hastings, August 1st in
Wow.
Prescott. Yep.
You know, Rivertown Days is a great event, but to me it means summer's half over.
And we're that much closer to football weather.
There you go.
I love the football weather. Here we go, Dan. Again, we talked about the wonderful bagpipes, and this is the Minnesota Police Pipe Band. So these are also police officers.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Wonderful.
They do
Just
a great
wonderful.
job, don't they? Wow. An Affinity Plus Credit Union in Hastings.
Yep.
You know, a lot of the businesses step forward for this parade. Do they have, what, close to 100, I would assume, in there?
100, I think, here,
Wow.
Dan, total.
Hope Lutheran Church.
Another great church in
Preschool.
town, and so many folks have been served by in our area, and got some of the kids on the float too at the preschool, and just very, very neat.
Vacation Bible School, July 30th through August 3rd. You can still sign up for that, I would assume, from Hope Lutheran.
And that'll bring us down to the Hammond Heartland Days Royalty. And I believe this is Hammond, Wisconsin, I would think, across the river, right? St. Croix County.
Yep, August 9th through the 12th.
St. Croix Central High School, for those of you folks over in that area, the Hammond-Roberts area.
It's kind of nice how they promote each other's events at parades in neighboring towns.
And it gives, like, Dan, you talk about some of these bands or even the bagpipe crew, it gives them a chance, I don't want to say to practice, but really, you practice how you play, right? I mean, just like in sports, you come out, you get some events in, and it keeps you fresh. So I think that's really cool, like you said, that these community parades get everybody involved from the entire area. Here's the Minnesota Veterans Home here in Hastings, too. Of course, we talk about veterans, Dan, and how much they do. Let me take a look here.
Again, the Veterans Home here in Hastings. Here, they can use mine. Well, I guess I don't know where it is here.
Sorry. It's okay. That's okay.
Kind of a small break in the action here.
Don't worry, Dan. I'll be back in just.
Looks like Jan's School of Dancing is making its way up here on this 40th annual Rivertown Days Parade this Sunday, July 22nd, 2018. A fabulous day.
97.
Highs in the mid to upper 70s. Just a beautiful day. Just a beautiful day.
Absolutely
Jan's School of
gorgeous.
Dance, winning a lot of awards also.
Every year.
Yeah.
Of course, Jan Tripp has had this institution in town for a long, long time, and like we talked about, year in and year out, awards, medals won, banners won.
Yes.
All the time.
Look at those little kids.
And how much fun are they having, Dan? I mean,
yes.
Something like this is fun, but they can dance the whole time they're going through the parade. And some of the teachers.
Look at those little girls.
Singing Uno, Dos, Tres. Wonderful. That'll bring us to the Dakota County Library and their Summer Discovery Program.
You know, there's a organization that's had to change with the times.
Sure.
And they do a lot of online stuff, and you can come in and use their computers for online research. They'll help you. They've really, really changed with the times.
And they still serve the community just as much as they did back in the 70s and 80s. It's amazing. And here's one, Dan, that we're going to talk about too. A number 45 on our list. We're getting close to the halfway point, and it's our Miss Hastings.
There she is, Nick, your new Miss Hastings 2019, Alina Matamiro. What a beautiful young lady representing Hastings. She was crowned last Wednesday night, 34 years after her predecessor. Alina's a student at Iowa State University, traveling the state as a Hastings ambassador and promoting her personal platform for the benefits of outdoor activities. She'll serve now as Miss Hastings for a whole year. Next June, Alina will represent Hastings for the title of Miss Minnesota, an official preliminary of the Miss America competition. Thank you, Alina, for serving Hastings community. And that's Alina Matamiro, who is your 2018 Miss Hastings after 34 years. It took a little hiatus, and now it's back again.
That's right. And this, Dan, is number 47 actually now, and that is Jason Lewis from Minnesota representative, I believe. He's
running for
making his
Congress.
way through. Yep.
Yep, you are exactly right. He's currently in the 2nd District and running for re-election. He believes in lower taxes, accessible health care, and improving the schools our kids go to.
Wonderful. We always have, like you said, politicians a lot of times will come through and shake hands and say hello to everybody and pine their wares for what's coming up in November. And everybody get out there and vote.
Yes,
Nothing
no matter
ever
what
changes
party. Yes.
without you voting.
Yep. If you don't vote, you don't, in my opinion, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain.
That's right.
Now, if you vote, maybe I have a right.
Voting,
I don't know.
Voting is your voice, right.
Boy, that's a big family.
A big...
With that kind of a shopping cart.
This looks like when Eric and I leave Cub. We only got 3, but boy, sometimes. And it puts me in the mood for pizza and cola and...
Cub Foods.
Let's be honest, some cereal, yeah, it's wonderful. And again, it runs kind of on a tractor, and the tractor pushes that big cart up 2nd Street. Oak Ridge Assisted Living, also, Dan, another wonderful place that takes care of some of our
citizens
senior
that have
citizens
served all their life. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of memory care and things of that nature, which we really appreciate. So, Dan, we're getting to right about the halfway point, like we said.
You're right.
Of the 2018 Rivertown Days Parade. Nick Tucker alongside Dan Bassman. We are with KDWA Radio in Hastings. You can listen to us on AM 1460 and FM 97.7. Find all of our fun at KDWA.com too. Our Facebook pages, Twitter, all of that stuff.
Like us on Facebook. You'll know everything as it happens. You better be careful on this next
Oh,
float,
no.
Nick. Don't say anything wrong.
Oh, well, you know what? There's a little lady that I know that's very close to you and I that does some stuff like this, and I don't mess with her. Morris Martial Arts. Yeah, they've got some little boards. They're going to give the boards away that they were breaking, maybe. That's kind of cool. The little pieces of boards. Oh, the little girls are breaking.
Oh,
hey!
Boy.
Hi-ya.
You don't want to mess around with her.
Like you said, Dan. Wow, that's
here's
not
another one.
anybody you want to mess with.
Here we go. Here we go.
Let's try it again. He wants
Here we
2.
go.
No, he says 1.
Yeah.
There we go.
Be careful around those kids.
In self-defense, Dan, it teaches
Yes,
so much.
it does.
Not just about defending yourself, but life lessons and to keep yourself fit, Dan. I don't think enough kids realize that. That is still exercise. It's fun. It's you're hanging out with your friends, but it's also exercise. And it's so good for kids. Bell Mortgage with Kim Heft and her crew coming through, throwing out some candy. They got like a gator too, Dan. Kind of an enclosed gator. This one here is Precision Landscape and Construction, another long time Hastings business since 1981, Dan. And
look what's on front of that truck.
that would be a snowplow. That would be a snowplow, Dan.
Even though who can think of snow, they do it all, don't they?
I like the fall weather, but I don't like what comes after it, especially when it lasts till like May 2nd or whatever it was this year.
They have some of those zero-turn mowers.
Aren't those neat? Those are so cool. You get good straight cuts, good turn radius and ratios on those things.
Look at that.
That one's a Ferris. That's kind of a brand that's
a
newer brand. Got a couple of Precision's big rigs too, kind of some skid movers and loaders, and they can double that. There's Sean Martin too. What's up, buddy? The beard. You can't mistake that fella. You know what Shawnee is, you see that beard. He's a good buddy of mine, has been for a long, long time. Yeah, we go way back. And he's always been into the landscape stuff and forever.
Yeah, long-time member in Hastings.
The Hastings Senior Center, Dan, will make their way through here. And they're located at the Tilden Community Center, formerly Tilden Elementary School, and what they've done with that building has been wonderful.
Turned it into a community.
Right, you think it would be an empty school. What are we going to do with that spot? And boy, they have done such a wonderful job. And it also keeps seniors in our area into fun stuff and really keeping them active, Dan, and that is so very important in our area.
And look at the seniors in there riding around, just having a good time. Hastings Community Ed.
some of our seniors. Look at those quilts, Dan. I know
Look at
somebody
that.
you know that would like those.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, if they find Barb, we're not going to see her for the next year or so, I think. Well, behind her.
I have to tell you a story. I took my motorcycle in today, and when I was coming from 316 to 61, this big grocery cart was coming right next to me on that merge. And
No.
I think I see it right now.
No,
People were slowing down and looking, Nick. It
Oh.
was the funniest thing.
I would love to have been there to see that. See
yeah,
your
they
face
drove-
and see theirs too.
They drove that right down Vermilion Street. That big V8 engine in it, Colborn's.
They're from Coburn's, Dan, as you mentioned too, and all sorts of good stuff. And they also are going with the United Way Live United program, their Food for Kids program. Now, something that's
Yes,
really cool.
Great place.
Friday we had the River Rumble Baseball Series at Prescott and Hastings.
Yes.
Coburn's and Patax, along with all the fans that came out there, raised over $1,500 and a bunch of food for the United Way Food for Kids program. Pat on the back, hats off to everybody Friday for doing what they did, Dan. And look at that.
Look at
That thing has some power.
You bet. Look at those kids up above on that. Yeah, right down Vermilion Street. That was the neatest thing.
You know what that looks
Colborn's.
like, Dan? It looks like a funny car. You know, that we'd see
Yes.
at Brainerd back in the day.
Well, look at that motor, big V8.
Sure. Oh, and you can smell that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's if you have any bit of gearhead in you, you know that
Look at
smell.
He knows how to rock it. Edina Realty, of course.
Yes.
Oh, look at
Some very wonderful
Christy?
people. Christy Lundby Hills, so they come over and say
Hey,
hello
hi
to
there,
us
young
too.
lady.
Come
Oh,
on
good
over.
to see you.
Oh, good
Hello.
to see you
A
guys.
Happy
beautiful
Rivertown
day out,
days.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful
I
day.
know, it's beautiful. I got my little guy somewhere. My daughter's a jam.
Good to see you, Christy.
Good to see
All
you,
right.
Christy.
That's awesome.
Look at the bubbles coming out of that.
They-
Agent on duty.
They do such a great job, folks.
Yeah, they do.
All-purpose, multi-stop, or one-stop shop for everything you need in realty. Spiral Natural Foods, Dan. We got a dancing
We've
banana,
got banana, strawberry.
a cow,
We've got a cow.
a bean head, I think is what he is. Oh, wonderful.
Spiral Natural
Yes.
Foods.
And we thank them for all that they do. Natural foods, a lot of organic stuff. Look
Oh,
at it, it's
there's-
Dave
oh.
Northern from Our Savior's
Here's
Lutheran
Church.
Church. There's V. Oh,
How
thank
you doing, Dave? What a great guy.
Thank
Another
you,
great
V.
guy.
All right.
Another great guy.
Wonderful.
Principal over at Prescott for a lot of years.
He
and
is one of
athletic
the
director. And you know
best.
the great thing about it?
Yeah.
He lives in Hastings.
He lives in Hastings, and we still got him here.
And we've got him from
He
Our
is-
Savior's Lutheran.
There's nothing better, Dan, than getting a text when I'm on the air doing a Prescott or Hastings game, and it's from him.
And
so
it's Dave.
I appreciate that.
Great guy.
And here is the rest of our Savior's Lutheran Church gang singing instruments. There's Nick Fox. He's the owner,
Yep.
too, of the brewery right across
right
the
across
street
the
here.
street there, yeah.
He and Amy. Great voices, great music.
Good music, yeah. Wow.
Paul Woog on there, too.
I hear them on our radio station, the music during
Right.
the church service. They do a great job.
You can listen to those, too, on KDWA, folks.
Yep. The Girl Scouts.
Yes, oh, Dan, and they're more than just cookies, let me tell you.
Yes,
they
yes,
do
they are.
so much for the community. You might see them bagging groceries at a local establishment, raising money for different organizations, and again, teaching life lessons to our young
Yes.
ladies in our community.
Those organizations, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, you do so much there.
Yep.
I discovered radio through Cub Scouts.
Yep, and we still have troops that come into our station,
Yes.
and they want to explore it, and they could be, like just like you, Dan, they get
Yep.
interested, they're going to come back eventually and want to be part of it.
Yep. Oh, Jerry Bamanek, Knights of Columbus.
Right.
Knights of Columbus in Hastings here. Jerry's walking that. Great guy. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton, they're located at 600 Tyler Street, Nick. They're a preschool through 8th grade Catholic school, and they're dedicated to faith, service, and education. They pride themselves in educating the whole child, mind, body, and soul. and are proud of their graduates and strive to help parents create leaders in our Catholic faith and in our community. St. Elizabeth Ann Seton School encourages you to come to tour their wonderful school and see what SEAS has to offer your family. I think that's Tim Sullivan walking right
yes,
there, isn't
it is. Yes, it is. And that's
Yes,
where
it is.
Dallas will be going in about
I was gonna
2.5 weeks or so. So that will be a lot of fun for him, and they'll teach him the right way. That's what we want to have.
Yes, you go.
Well, we talked about the head-to-head, Dan, coming up in November, and we talk about Dana Elling Schultz, who is also one of our folks that will be running for mayor of the city of Hastings, and she too, former council member here in town.
You bet. She's greeting partygoers along the route and reminding them to vote in the primary election. That'll be on Tuesday, August 14th. Earlier along the route, Dana handed out small bags to children to hold any treats they may gather during the parade. Supporters providing participants, parade participants. If you're thirsty, stop by, grab a cup of water.
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
There you go.
Appreciate that.
Dana for mayor.
November should be fun this year, Dan. All sorts of stuff, statewide and citywide. I think people are going to be very interested this year.
It is. You bet.
Now we're going to go to the Minnesota Ag Group, and again, these cool all-terrain vehicles.
Look at that. They have come a long way, haven't they?
And the new Mahindra ones, we've heard a lot about these Case working with them a lot, and the power that some of those really have are absolutely wonderful. That Mahindra too, that's a Retriever. That's a little smaller. You can put a two-seater. You could probably put a seat in the back of it if you needed to, but those are more for, like you'd have out at your house, going from spot to spot with some dirt, moving that around. And
right.
But we thank them too for coming, and that'll give us a chance to talk about number 64, Dan, and you got some information on them.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Nick. We want to walk to raise awareness and funds that will save lives and bring hope to those affected by suicide. Such a sad, sad disease, such a sad issue too, suicide.
It really is.
No matter at what age. But they're doing their best that they can to help the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
We thank them for all that they do.
If you know of anybody, folks, that you think may need some extra help, don't hesitate to help them and give these folks a call.
Reach out. Sometimes a phone call could be the best thing for any friend, family that might be going through a depressive state or situation. A smile on your face. You'd be surprised. You run into a stranger on the street corner and a smile on your face, and what that could do to change something that minute. There we go, Dan. Let me tell you, not only good Mexican food, but good Mexican music.
You'll hear.
How about that?
They're all decked out. Las Margaritas.
Whether it's a chimichanga or just those yummy chips and salsa.
Look at that, yeah. Hardworking people.
Right.
Just hardworking people.
And wearing that, Dan?
Yeah.
That, I don't care how cool it is.
It's
it could be
hot.
December, and that's going to be hot. Thank you to those folks at Las Margaritas. And I like the float has the colors of the Mexican flag, which is really neat.
Yeah, you are right.
Very cool. And that'll bring us to Pine Bend Paving. And Dan, we've seen a lot of paving projects around the Tri-County area lately.
What do you mean? Seen a lot every other block.
What? 46, you go, any of those big streets, any of the side streets. Yeah, over by my house even, 7th Street, 6th Street.
All over.
Near the,
That machine isn't hungry. It's been doing a lot of chewing up this summer. Boy, look at that thing.
And Dan, that's the one that takes the old pavement, chews it all up, makes something new and spits it back out, and it's almost recycling the old pavement into new, so we're not creating more waste.
Yes, and that's a great way to handle it.
Right. Cheaper too for communities, and for the taxpayers, they gotta like that.
Part of the greatest generation coming up.
The Commemorative Air Force, they're honoring American military history, Dan.
Look at that. World War II vintage vehicle.
That's for
there.
sale. 1942 Ford 21A.
Wow.
And it's for sale. I
drive that to and from work every day.
I don't know if Barbie's going to let that in the garage
New
or
company
not.
car now. In its truck.
I'll take that to North St. Paul any day of the week. I'm sure they'll see me going,
heads.
hey.
Oh, but But the best, you know, the greatest generation they called of World War II.
Yep.
Our vets. We owe them more than what we could ever pay them back for.
Many are
all
are,
of them
are
from
gone,
all the wars.
but they're never forgotten, Dan. You're
Right.
totally right. That is absolutely correct. And that looks like it's going to be waiting for the Walmart one to come through. I wonder if they're potentially next. It is. Again, we want to thank you for joining us for the 2018 Rivertown Days Parade here on a beautiful Sunday. Nice breeze, low humidity, temperatures in the mid-70s. Couldn't ask for a better day or weekend. Saturday was beautiful.
Today is too. This is your Hastings Walmart Supercenter and Academy, where they save people money so they can live better. Now offering online grocery pickup, along with educating and inspiring current and future leaders of the company. Your Walmart Superstore of Hastings.
A lot of friendly faces that I think a lot of folks know coming through there. Boy, the gal in front of us just got probably a whole box of Freezy Pops. That's pretty wow. No, thank you.
No,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
it, though.
But thank you.
I wish we could eat Freezy
I
on
know,
here. I
we
don't think we can. Get away.
Well, it's going to be pretty tough to talk and eat freezies.
Well, it's hard enough for me to try to keep eating these Sour Patch Kids that I got earlier.
I got all these Tootsie Rolls I want to eat on the way back.
Thanks to Mr. Braun for those, by the way. So that is the Vulcan crew, Dan.
The 1980 Vulcan crew. They've been volunteering and participating in St. Paul and local community events for nearly 80 years. Once again, the Vulcans have defeated Boris and his 4 winds to ride the state of cold weather and bring back the heat of summer. Say hello to the Vulcans Rex, the 81st Flame. Clinker, EB, Sparky, Ferdy, and Ash. Hail the Vulcans.
And the Vulcans handing out their patented kisses, Dan, where they mark you with a V.
Uh-oh.
Well, I remember back in the day where they would actually come up and give you a little smoochy woochy.
Times have changed.
Yeah, they've changed a little bit. But they still write the little V on your face.
There you go.
And that'll bring up an organization that is near and dear to my heart and always has been, always will be. The Hastings Hockey Association registration kicks off here in a couple of days on August 1st, goes to the 15th. HastingsHockey.com is where you can find all the info there. And the old Zamboni, Dan.
Look at that.
I don't know who owns that now, but that has so much tradition in it. That's the Zamboni I remember when I was a squirt coming onto the ice at the Hastings Civic Arena, watching Sliv McGree drive that thing and how much fun those years were. And they're creating those same memories now, Dan, for the next future of Hastings hockey players, boys and girls. I know this guy. Here he comes, Mike Slavic. He always gets a good run in, I think, during these.
He's getting exercised.
It's the best diet out
You're
there.
always running around out here.
Happy Rivertown Days.
Happy Rivertown Days to you, buddy.
Happy
Yeah,
Rivertown
thank you.
Days. Mike Slavic, your First District County Commissioner. Of course, once a month you can hear him on KDWA AM and FM.
That's right. Every third.
Brings a lot of information into us.
We want to ask you, Mike. Now, you've ran in parades, literally, for the last how many years? This might be the nicest parade we've had.
I don't know if we've had 75 degrees and sunny before, but
This is great, isn't it?
it's still warm for me, but it's very nice. And
Slow down.
yeah,
Slow down, have fun.
Yeah.
Congratulations on everything you've done here in the community, the area, Dakota County, and thank you.
Thank
for your
you.
service.
Thanks for all your
Yep.
great
I
work.
see you got
Appreciate
Dad out there too.
Out there as well, yes.
Dad always willing to help.
Dad and Mom.
Yep.
Yep, Dad and Mom both out there. Or Dad and wife.
Oh, the Slavics, wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful people. Went to
Yep.
school with them at C's too, here in Hastings growing up. Known Michael and Molly for a long time. And again, you put your name on the ballot, you deserve respect.
Yes,
You're willing
no
to
matter
put
what,
your name out there and heart out there for your community. And now for Mike, the county, it's so respectable. And we thank every one of you that have done that in the past,
Yep.
even willing to give your time back. Now, This is
Snowmows.
Whoa, Dan.
Look at that. Look at that groomer.
Look at that Arctic-Cat. I think I want
Yeah.
that one. Oh my.
Yeah. Look at the groomer that they use on the trails.
That is so beautiful. Now, Dan, is this the one that they take on like all the big trails in Dakota County
Yes,
and whatnot?
that is it. Yep.
Wow.
Well, that's actually owned by the Hastings Snowmows. That's their their groomer.
Now that is that's something to talk about because they own their own
Groomer. Yep. And Mike Dimmick spends a lot of nights on that, grooming the trails and the wildlife running across and the deer and fox and coyotes and stuff.
Another person, Dan, that does things behind the scenes that doesn't get credit for the volunteer work he does too. I mean,
right.
A lot of folks in the area just give back, and that's what makes us so successful here in Hastings. Here's the Riverblades Skating School. We talked about hockey, but a lot of these kids learning to skate in the Riverblades Skating School. We've talked numerous times on KDWA, Dan, with Amanda Truax, good friend of Mo's. And again, they do such a wonderful job with these kids. And they not only just teach them how to skate, they get them into figure skating competitions and things of that nature too. And hey, you learn to skate, you want to play hockey, you get into it. Some of those skaters are the best skaters on the ice, Dan.
Yep.
You learn to skate professionally, you learn to skate. You don't just put the skates on and go. These folks do a great job of putting those kids in a great position, either succeed in figure skating, hockey, or just enjoying putting a pair of skates on.
Look at the size of those skates, Nick.
They're bigger than me. Bigger than me. That's something else. You need a big sharpener to get those things
Yeah, you do.
going. And now some of the Riverblades crew will make their way through too, giving out some of their information. And now Marcus Theater is coming through, Dan. They are our local movie theater.
Yep. Do a good job up there, folks. Check it out.
I gotta find a good movie to see. I'm waiting for a blockbuster, Dan.
There you go. Shrek the Musical. Black Dirt Theater.
Again, another group. Since they've moved to town, how neat has that been?
Yeah.
I mean, the productions that they put on. I mean, you talk about Broadway and things like that. We got our own little Broadway in Hastings. It's just absolutely wonderful. So professional in the way that they do their things. They do such a wonderful job. And look at all those kids and adults having so much fun. So Shrek the Musical, that's what's coming up.
Yes, it is. If you haven't seen a production from Black Dirt Theater, folks, go to their website. Check it out. They do such a great job. These are people playing from the heart.
And that's exactly it. They're people that have everyday jobs just like every one of us. And you know what? They come home, take some time, study the lines. I mean, they're not career actors, but boy, when you watch them, you think they work.
Yep.
And there's a place down the road, the Casino, Dan.
The Casino, yeah, be careful.
Ding, ding, ding. The Treasure Island Casino that is just south of town, southeast of town, down on Prairie Island there. And they might, they're number 76, Dan.
Huh.
And then, the Hidden Greens Golf Course would be the next one, number 77. They are a wonderful golf course that a good guy that you might know quite well golfs out there along with myself every once in a while. Beautiful golf spot, quaint, a lot of shade trees. Sometimes I lose my golf balls out there.
And this is Hidden Greens.
Hidden Greens Golf Course.
2 golf carts and a walkers. They have a newly completed building out there. I didn't realize that.
I didn't
now
either.
Open for bookings, golf tournaments, parties, reunions, weddings. Go to hiddengreensevents.com, and they're handing out all sorts of items to promote kids golf free Friday through Sunday after 3 p.m. with 1 paying adult.
And the next one is 78, Dan, and that's the Clown Club from here in town, and they're clowning around out there on 2nd Street.
The St. Paul Clown Club. It was formed in 1946, before our time, Nick.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it's the oldest operating clown club in the United States. The club participates in parades, community events throughout Minnesota, sharing smiles and laughters.
And then the Keller Williams Realty Group coming out in the white Silverado, and that'll bring us to Lori Brox, who is number 80, and she's our city council member at large, Dan.
Yep, she won her first term in 2014 and is running for election in this November. She's in the parade with her husband, Tommy, kids Jonathan and Grace, and her dog, Teddy. Did you see Teddy out there?
I see Tommy on the scooter. I can see him for sure. He's beeping and having fun.
And
I know that guy.
She has her law degree from William Mitchell Law School, works at Thomson Reuters during the day. She loves her family, playing trivia, and can be seen riding her moped on her way to the YMCA. She's working on a platform of economic growth and a stronger Hastings.
Thanks to Lori and all of our wonderful city council members. And like we said, thank you for your service. Innovative Services, one of the spots in town. Again, another local business in the industrial park here in town. Lots of different things that they do, like countertops and things of that nature.
Known for that. Yeah.
Right. So they're making their way through with their crew. Some more candy being handed out. There's going to be a lot of sugary charged kids taking out of here today.
Sugar charged kids in Hastings.
Yeah.
That's good. Yes.
I wonder if that will institute nap time this afternoon. Wouldn't that be nice?
They have to crash. They have to crash.
Give Dad some time to watch some golf. Right. Big crew from Innovative Services. This is awesome.
Wow, they were.
Thank you. And lots of wonderful people from the area working hard out there, and that'll bring us now to the next one, which is the St. Philip's Early Learning Center. And that is number 84 on the day, Dan.
Okay, and
yeah.
we have some stuff to talk to them about. The Faith family at St. Philip's is excited to celebrate a summer of praise, fellowship, and fun. They love the learning. It lasts all year long with their Early Learning Center, serving ages 3 to 5 as they prepare for kindergarten and a lifelong love of learning and faith. Come and see, come as you are.
Wonderful. Thank you to St. Philip's Lutheran Church as well for coming on through here. Got a couple more folks from St. Philip's saying hello to everybody. Next one, we're on number 85 now. We're getting close to the end, folks, so stay tuned here for the next few, and that's going to be from Randolph, Dan.
Yes, you're correct, Nick. It's the 2018 FFA float. Agriculture is more than breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's the theme of the Randolph FFA chapter float. Agriculture provides us with food, also much more. Ethanol from corn, ink from soybeans, insulin from cattle and hogs, plastics for cars from soybeans, paintbrushes from hogs, Band-Aids from cattle. Where do many other everyday products we use get their start from? The answer is the farms.
Yeah.
The farm. Wow. I did not know all that.
And like we have so many farm-related businesses in our town, too.
We do. We have our current sheriff, Tim Leslie. He's running for re-election. He leads a 200-person sheriff's office with the help of a tremendous staff of dedicated professionals, all pulling together to meet the mission. Tim and the office have been successful in the last 4 years in expanding needed services while keeping Dakota County the lowest tax county in Minnesota. Tim's law enforcement career spans over 37 years, having served as an assistant commissioner in the Minnesota Department of Public Safety after spending 23 years with the St. Paul Police Department. Tim and his wife Julie have 4 children and have lived in Dakota County for 30 years, and they reside in Mendota Heights.
Yep, and I've watched a lot of their kids come through. They played for Henry Sibley, Dan.
Oh, they did?
In numerous sports. So again, we kind of a little bit known Tim a little bit more through the years, but again, a great man who's taken up where we picked up and left off after the last couple of wonderful sheriffs we've had in the area, and has done a great job himself.
Yep, you are right. Just a great guy.
This is Rivertown Tree Service, and they have a big float too, and a lot of their fluorescent characters having some fun, some loud tunes like we like to hear on a Sunday down here.
I think next year, Nick, I'm going to get a pair of sunglass reading glasses.
Yeah, well, that might help. Just switching back and forth, back and forth. A good problem, though, a beautiful, sunny
Here we
Sunday.
have the Power Up Truck, Hastings' own mobile video game theater. Bring Mario to your party or special event. I didn't know we had that.
This
Nick.
is something that I might need to look
Yeah, I was going to
into.
say, pull that thing in front of your house
What?
and watch the kids come running, right? Wow, look at that truck, huh?
I would love to just get involved with that somehow. That is something that I have never seen before.
And Xbox, PlayStations, and Wii? Is that how you pronounce
Oh
that?
yeah, Dan, you are right on the money.
I'm
In
telling you
any
what, I
and
have
every.
no idea what it is, but...
Well, someday we might have to have a Wii day at work, right? Doesn't that sound good, everybody? We might.
Okay.
No, it's a lot of fun. I'm sure the kids absolutely love it. Thank you to them again for bringing such a cool business to town, Dan.
Yes, it is. What a great
idea. Well, let's see here. Christ Family Church is here in Hastings. www.cfchastings.com. Cast your cares to the Lord, and He will sustain you. Psalm 55:22. Very good words on a Sunday, especially.
Wonder if they hold services out in that boat.
Wouldn't that be fun? You would have to try to find a way to prevent me from fishing while being on that. I don't know if that's, maybe that's policy. Maybe you can fish while the sermon's going on. I would love that. This one is going to be kind of fun, I think, too. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see who it's going to be. Got a little space here and there, but we try to keep you entertained. Nick Tuckner, Dan Massman back at the 2018 Rivertown Days Parade. The nicest weather we've had in years, if not ever, for the Sunday of Rivertown Days, the parade. You know,
you're spot on the weather, Nick. This has just been a pleasure sitting out here. Is that the Gymnastics Center, Wolf Den Gymnastics Center? Their mission is to provide all of their athletes, competitive and recreational, with the highest quality gymnastics instruction in the Cottage Grove area. They offer classes for girls and boys aged 18 months to 18 years old. It's their goal to teach in a positive, fun, and safe environment through gymnastics. They strive to develop self-esteem, physical fitness. Their program is suited for recreational development and competitive gymnasts.
It's great too because up in Cottage Grove, for you folks from Hastings that don't know, in Cottage Grove at Park High School, their gymnastics program for years under Coach Mark Sikich went to state tournaments every year. So many young little girls wanted to be the next Wolfpack gymnast. And this is where it all starts, Dan. Very cool to see these kids, again, honing their skills.
Excuse me. Looks like we're going to get entertained.
Yeah, they have an actual rendition that they're doing right now. Kind of choreographing some of the fun from the truck as well.
I bet those little girls are tired.
Well, by this time, I would assume so, yeah. But what about the experience? You know, they're going to talk about it the whole rest of their summer.
Of their life.
Yep.
The rest of their life, they'll remember that.
Right. And that'll bring us to
Tim Stanley's church.
Yes, Crossroads. Yeah, he's a wonderful fella himself, and again, got this going in Hastings, and again, just an energetic group, Dan. Just all energy and just so many fun, bubbly, great people, and just awesome. Have some great, a lot of the kids that I think a lot of folks might, recognize from the middle and high school. Yep. Oh yeah. You knew he'd be in the mix somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
Thanks to all of the folks from Crossroads. And that'll bring, Dan, we talked about Scouts. Here's one of our packs right here, 278, 444, and 92. And again, these kids are just, they're the ones that learn from the ground up. I think we talked about
great
life
organizations.
lessons.
Yes.
Learn how to be a man and an upstanding community citizen.
You bet. You're going to see things in Cub Scouts that you'll never see otherwise.
No.
They teach them, you can learn how to scuba dive, go down to the Florida Keys. It's just fantastic. It's an experience, folks. and it's tough to see the participation go down and down, but boy, I'll tell you, they're future leaders.
Absolutely.
Tina Fulch, for Minnesota legislator in House District 54B. She's a current Hastings City Council member in Ward 1. She was elected in 2016. Tina and her 2 sons live in Hastings, Tina's hometown. She's running for the Minnesota House of Representatives. I said earlier 56B, but it's 54. I apologize. Which includes all of Hastings, Denmark, Afton, and part of Cottage Grove. Issues of importance to Tina include transportation, environment, healthcare, education, local control, to name a few. Please check out her website, tinafulch.com. So, that's Tina Fulch for 54B.
Carla Bingham riding with her?
Pardon?
Carla and Tina both on the
there
at the same time? Hey!
There she is.
Waving at Dan. Forgot about the sports guy, but that's okay.
Oh, the sports guy's been remembered through the party.
I think so. Oh, Rivertown Eye Care, again, got to take care of those eyes. You only have 2 of them, Dan, and one of our places in town where you can do just that.
Walsh and Flanagan for Minnesota. They're running for the next governor and lieutenant governor next.
Right.
Congressman Tim Walsh in the 2nd District in 125 years to win Minnesota's congressional district. He's done it because he's been able to carry a progressive message to the voters. Representative Peggy Flanagan is from St. Louis. They're running to create one Minnesota where everyone in a voice has a chance to succeed, no matter your background or where you grew up.
And here's the hometown Ace Hardware here in Hastings, up in the Westview Center.
They do such a great job.
Yeah.
Terry's Hardware. This is
Ace
Hardware.
in
This
Hastings.
is Ace, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yep, this is Ace.
Midtown. They're located Westview Center.
Yep.
Westview Center.
A big, giant, huge wooden rocking chair that they have on their float here today. They're handing out water to everybody.
You can relax in that.
Yeah. And the tennis sanitation crew. And there's Skunk Dan. It's a skunk. Yeah. Does that go with garbage? I mean, come on. That's pretty creative.
Yeah.
And now this is, folks, my favorite part.
Yes.
I'm going to be quiet now and let you enjoy our first responders who are just awesome.
Hastings Police Department. Wow. All over our neck. West St. Paul, Cottage Grove.
Rosemount, St. Paul Park, our Dakota County Sheriffs. How awesome are they, Dan?
Yeah.
West St. Paul, they brought the truck with, the community service truck. That's cool. A couple of our reserves who are always so awesome, Dan, and what they do for our community. They keep us safe all Rivertown Days weekend. Some Cottage Grove cops too.
Yep. Making a lot of noise.
Yep. That's for sure. They'll be on TV. There's, hey, Chappie. Clarence Chapman driving an unmarked.
Yeah.
There he is. Yep. Gotta like that. All done. He says, we cut, he says. He just gave us the official cut.
He's in the unmarked. Look at the little red light in the back there.
Well, with Clarence giving us the sign off, folks, that's going to also end it for us here. And I want to thank Dan again for joining us. It was so much fun as usual. And we're looking forward to next year. Hopefully, somehow, some way, we can get the very same weather ordered for next year. Wouldn't that be nice? But
and the cable people.
Oh, absolutely. Lindsay, Kurt, David, all 3 of them doing a fantastic job. Everybody on the float from HCTV And then all of you out there watching, we thank you. And come back again, folks. It's going to be wonderfully fun again as the Rivertown Days Parade back for 2019. For all of us,
41st.
It'll be 41 years, folks. We're still kicking. For Dan and for everybody else at HCTV, I'm Nick Tucker signing off. And this concludes the Rivertown Days Parade.